So another way that we can divide by 10 is to use a multiplication chart. In the videos before you came into ClassKick, it showed you how to use a multiplication chart to multiply, and then also how to use one to divide. So let's go over it one more time. If I'm using this multiplication chart to multiply, let's say I had the multiplication problem 3 times 7. Well, if I was doing 3 times 7, I would come down 3, yes, and I would highlight this. Let me highlight it. I would highlight this row. And then I would go over 7, and I would highlight that row. And where my two numbers intersect, or where my two lines intersect, is my answer. So 3 times 7 is 21. That's how I multiply. Well, you can also use this to divide. So here's how this works. You're going to go to your divisor. This is my divisor. And you're going to find your dividend. This is my dividend. So I'm going to go over here to my divisor, which is 10. And I'm going to go down until I reach my dividend, which is 50. And then I just truck it on over to find my quotient, which is 5. Okay? So since 5 times 10 is 50, then 50 divided by 10 is 5. All right? So using a multiplication chart means that you need to create a multiplication chart. Best way to do that is on graph paper. If you do not have graph paper, you can use plain white, blank, like copy paper. Let me scroll out so you can see what I'm doing. And you would create a chart. So you're going to start just like they did here. This is a multiplication chart. So I'm going to start with my X. Then I'm going to draw a line this way, and I'm going to draw a line this way. Yes? Then I need to start with 0 and go all the way up to 10 on your multiplication chart, okay? And then you're going to do the same thing going down. You're going to, let me get that out of the way. Count from 0, go down. Counting to 10. All right. Then you need to draw lines. If you have a ruler, use a ruler. If you don't, do your best to keep your lines straight. It will help later when you're filling in all of your rows and columns. And you just draw it all the way across. And I'm just going to keep on going. And once I have all my rows across, now I need to draw my columns going down. Don't skip any numbers. They are all important. If you have graph paper, you don't have to do this part because it already has the squares for you. But you're going to want the graph paper that has the big boxes. It makes it simpler to write. So now I have my chart. Well, now I need to do my multiplication. This is how it works. 0 times 0 equals 0. 0 times 1 equals 0. 0 times 2 equals 0. 0 times everything equals 0. So I can write 0 all the way across. But what about this way? 0 times 1 equals 0. 0 times 2 equals 0. 0 times 3 equals 0. This is quite the pattern. 0 times anything equals 0. Let's do ones. 1 times 1 equals 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times anything is the number you're multiplying it by. Same thing going down. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. All the way to 10. Okay, this is where our skip counting comes in handy. Let me scoot it back just a little more. Skip counting comes in handy because if you know your multiplication tables, you can just fill this in no problem. For instance, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And guess what? My 2's times tables is going to be the same going down as well. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. All right, let's do our 5s and our 10s because we know how to count by 5 and we know how to count by 10. So let's fill in all the easy ones first. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And when you go down, you also need to go across. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Let's do our 10s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, I got a little excited, 90, 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now I just need to fill in the blanks, and that requires me to do my multiplication tables for the rest of my numbers. So let's go back to our 3's. If I'm counting by 3, I have 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Now let's go down. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Let's do our 4's. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and let's say I get to 24 and I get stuck. What can I do? I'm doing 4 times 7. Well, I can remember 4 times 7, or I can count up 4. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, because I'm multiplying by 4's, and that's the same as repeated addition. So what if I'm stuck again? 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 8 times 4 is my favorite multiplication problem. Just saying. Oh, and I wrote the number wrong. 32. And then count up 4 more. 33, 34, 35, 36. So I have all of them. And once you get it across one way, then you have it going down as well. So I'm at 20. So next is 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Already done my 5s, so now I'm on to my 6's. 30 plus 6 is 36. 36 plus 6 is 42. 42 plus 6 is 48. 48 plus 6, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Now I have my 6's going across, so I can do my 6's down. Okay, I'm hoping this is making sense. I'm going to let you go ahead and finish this off for yourself. But once you have your chart done, you can use it for multiplication and for division. Remember, when you're multiplying, you find your two factors. Let's say it's 6 and 7. You're going to follow it in or all the way across. Let me use the highlighter. You're going to follow it all the way across, all the way down. Where those two numbers cross paths is the product for your multiplication. If you're doing division, you take your dividend. Let's say you have the number 16. you're going to find 16, right? You can do it that way. Or if you have 16 divided by 4, you find your divisor, which is 4, and you come down till you reach your quotient, which is 16. And then you go back across. 16 divided by 4 equals 4. All right, 2 different ways to use a multiplication chart. Create one. You can keep it in your journal if you want, and then you have all your rows across already done. Just saying. Create a multiplication chart for you to use in your lessons, okay? All right, when you go back in, you need to do the share and show and the problem solving, and then down here there'll be a check your work button. Please use the repeated subtraction, and then find the unknown factor and quotient. So if it's missing one of these, that's a factor. If it's missing this, that's your quotient, okay? It's basically a fact family. Find the missing numbers. Use your multiplication chart if you would like to. On these, we're doing comparisons, greater than, less than, or equal to. So do the math and figure that one out. And then down here you have a word problem. Don't forget to check your work. When you're finished, you have 2 more pages to go. One of them or both of them are for graded practice. All right, good luck. Have fun.